Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. In this video, we're going to talk about the so-called dynamic stop loss. That is a pretty important component in money management, and we call break-even and trailing stop. And let's see the details. Just to remember, we're talking about risk management. The risk management is using stop loss. The meaning of stop loss is to protect the capital. Money management is using the break-even and the trailing stop as in order to protect the profit. Okay, so there are two different parts. In the trade management that we are using, it's always important to remember that money management is the most important element in our trading. We agree that entering into the market at the correct entry point is important, but it's not enough. The most important point is after that the order has been placed and how we deal with that, how we managed an open order. The difference between a good management and a bad management is a profit or a loss. So I understand that we are always trying to look for the perfect entry point, okay? But again, this is an example from my computer actually, where the computer is overloaded with indications, looking for the perfect moment or whatever. It's fine, but trade management, again, a good one is taking profit. A bad trade management is killing the perfect entry point. We were talking about the coin flipping, okay? Taking away spread and commission when we are doing trading, we have a 50-50 options, or long or short. So it's a flip the coin choice. And also a monkey could take a coin and getting 50% winners. So what I'm expecting from you, becoming an educated trader, is to have slightly more than 50%. When you have a win rate a bit more than 50%, the business is beginning. First point, break-even. The break-even means to move the stop loss from the original position into the initial entry point once price has moved in our favor. So I'm buying a position and I decide stop loss 10, take profit 20. I decide that at a certain point, for example, profit 10, the stop loss has to go up to the entry level. If the price then turns around before touching the take profit, turn around and stop you out, you will stop at break-even. So you have no losses in this trade because the new stop loss will be set at the same price of entering. So we are not going to lose any money. So it's the break-even is a component in the trade management that it's really, really important, because this is the difference between a win rate of 50-50 to a new concept of a win rate of 51, break-even of 20, lose of 30. And it will change dramatically all the statistics. The point using the break-even is when we are touching the break-even level, we are going to talk about free trades. Free trades means that we are no losing any more money. The break-even is normally associated with a partial closure, for example, 50%. So I can program the computer telling him or it that when the price is touching a certain level, it has to move the stop loss to the entry point and we close the position of the 50%. So we cashed a part of the profit. We cannot lose in the remaining of the trade, and whatever happens will be profit. So you can see here, starting from a -10, this is the entry point, and we decide that when touching a certain price, the stop loss is moved down to the entry. The trailing stop loss may be also more important than the break-even. We have exit rules, and it's nice, okay? So, because we believe that the exit rules sometimes is also more important than the entry rules. Anyone is putting emphasis on planning the perfect entry, but a lot of people is forgetting to develop the strategy for exiting a trade once it's open. But exiting, it's crucial for any trading plan, okay? And this is the difference between the new traders and the professional traders. We have two different approaches in order to exit, the so-called discretionary or a pre-decided level. In the discretionary is what we were teaching. So when the green crosses back the blue and the green is crossing the red, when the CCI is crossing back the 100 or whatever, okay? This is discretionary because this is something that will take us to achieve a maximum profit, but you have to monitor the position, or you have to write a specific program for that. But anyhow, it's you have to monitor the position. The pre-decide is when we have our calculation, okay? When I say in the normal example, stop loss 10, take profit 20, it's okay, because we have a risk reward 1 to 2. So mathematically speaking, we are okay. It's perfect for Excel. It's perfect for the forecasting, but maybe that we're closing a position with a profit of 20 pips and the position is going up to 120. So it's maybe embarrassing. A basic rule in trading is to cut losses as soon as possible and to leave the profit run. But how can we leave the profit run if we have a take profit? So we need something dynamic, able to follow the price. And this is the role of the trailing stop loss. This is the meaning. The stop loss is an advanced entry order, moving the stop loss forward a specific amount of pip after then the position has touched in your favor. Okay, so we are technically locking the profit and we are extending the move. So let's say that the price is going up. So in the first position, the stop loss was here. Coming at B is touching the stop loss, the trading stop order, and the stop loss is bringing at the entry level. Price is going up, stop loss is going up. Price is going slightly down in retracement, stop loss is not moving. Price again go up, stop loss is going up. And any time that is going up is increasing the short profit between A to E. At a certain point, the retracement will touch the trailing stop and will close the order. The trailing stop is designed to protect gains by enabling us to remain open and continue the profit as long as the price is moving in our favor. So this is perfect for trending market. In our software, you remember, we take a look to the ATR and we insert the trailing stop number here in the middle in the trailing stop field. And then we click on to activate. Normally, we are using the same value. 400 here, 400 here, for example. 100, 100. Why? Because in this case, when the price will touch for the first time this value, for example, 100, the stop loss will move to the entry and the trailing stop will act as a break even. So to remember, when the price touch the trailing stop level, the stop loss will be moved to the original entry price. In this sense, the trailing stop acts as a break-even. So if we are using the trailing stop, we are not using the break-even. It is different from the break-even because the break-even is one time only. But the trailing stop will go further if the price will continue the trend. So in this case, the stop loss will continue to follow the price until price will retrace. So this is the reason why the trailing stop is pretty useful in trending markets, but from another sense, the trailing stop will kill your transaction in a ranging market. Another very important point, if you are using the trailing stop, you won't probably use the break-even, and it's okay, but you are not going to use the take profit. Think about that. If I'm putting a system to follow the price because I want to take the long trend, why have I to limit with a take profit? Because if I'm maintaining the take profit and if I'm using the trailing stop, at a certain moment the price will touch the take profit, and that's nice, but it will close the transaction. And again, I will have, for example, a 20 pips profit, but I will have a trend of 120. So this is very important to have enough space to work with the trailing stop, and this is the reason why the trailing stop is useful for position trading, but not always for scalping. Because scalping, we are aiming to have 2-3 pips profit, so it's pretty hard to have a stop loss. There is another concept in our software that is called trailing profit. So not trailing stop, but trailing profit. The difference, there are two important differences. The trailing profit will be activated when the price will touch the take profit, the original one. So I say, take profit 20 pips, the price luckily is touching the take profit, and the computer, instead of closing the transaction, is scaling up the take profit and moving the stop loss at a certain distance from the new take profit. So it's scaling up continuously. It's an advanced function. Maybe that you don't see the difference between the trailing profit and the trailing stop, it's okay. But the main point about our strategy is that the trailing profit is under the CLP tab in our software. And you remember that everything that is in CLP is invisible to the broker. So it's something that is handled by the client side and not the server side. It's a parameter that is in our software, and the software is monitoring the transaction and is not communicating to the broker that we have these stop loss, these take profit, is not communicating any information. So why it's important? Remember, we were talking about the importance to have invisible orders to the brokers. Okay. It's at the moment we are doing small trades, so we don't care. But the point about communicating to the brokers is that is considering the brokers as the communication channel with interbanks. And interbanks, we will see a bit later, if you allow me a bad word, the interbank is our enemy. It's not our friend. So maybe that the brokers will make pleasant phone calls. They are very nice people, but behind the interbank, the intermarket, and whatever, they are our enemies because we are fighting each other. So this is the reason why I told you since the beginning, we try to have a low position, and this low position has to be always in the same side of the big traders, okay? Because we are in such situation where we have to fight against our enemy in a classic war, And before displacement tanks and troops, we have to ask the permission to them and say, hi, good morning, Mr. Enemy. I have to move 100 tanks in this place. Do you mind it? They will say, no problem, you can do that. But they will have the information. Investopedia is one of the most authoritative websites about investing. So it's just to know that this is not Walter that is following a complot theory or whatever. And they say, trader face certain risk in using stop losses. For starters, market makers are keenly aware of any stop losses you place with your broker, because we are communicating to the broker. What can do the market makers? Market makers can force a whipsaw in the price, thereby bumping you out of your position, then running the price right back up again. I told you in the first lesson, this market is unregulated and unfair because we are with big players that absolutely don't care about us, and not only, they are using our money. So it's remember these words, please. The conclusion is that we can increase the efficacy of a stop loss with a trailing stop. The trailing stop is a way to limit the losses, and mainly when the break-even is activated, to lock in profits, and to have a more constant gain from the market. So we have the downside is that we are limited by the stop level, but the upside, it's potentially unlimited. Okay, so it's this is very important. Trailing stop is the system that we're using to allow the profitable trades in trending markets, remember, to run, and losses to be limited. You remember Mr. Wilder. Mr. Wilder was discussing about some points in one of his books. The markets must win, or else there will be no markets. There must be more money lost than won. This is the most important basics. So we are approaching a market as trader that is willing to killing us because they want us to lose money. Because there are big winners like hedge fund, large speculation, intertrade, intermarket, central banks, and there is the last group of the small traders. The small traders is biggest as number, but not as volume. So we know maybe that it's the 5% is not correct, but it's just giving the idea. Only the 5% of small traders are making profit. You can understand that, according to him, the 95 small traders are financing the large speculators. And this is the reason why the CLP system and the most advanced software are using invisible orders. And we are approaching the last lesson. That will be on next Tuesday about the multi-time frame. Thank you, gentlemen, and I hope to see you soon. Thank you. Bye.